Good afternoon. Hello, how are you? Hello, everybody. I'm Deb Johnson. I'm back again for Our Time to Quilt live stream. And yes, this is live. So, how was your week? And I do want to say something, and I want to say it carefully. It's weeks like this that I appreciate my quilting even more. And my heart goes out to all of those families. So, I hope you all understand and know, but I think let's move on and have some fun, because one thing is I want this place to be a place of joy and safety and all good things. So the real world will still be out there when we're done having fun. So let me push my camera back a touch. I really do think I want one of those cameras with a remote control. So I think that's going to be on this year's Christmas list. Oh, I still have it pointed wrong. Let me try this. So I see Melissa is here. I see Melissa here. I'm so glad to see you. I am even more excited about the retreat. Oh, I meant to bring something down to show you. Okay. We'll start right off of this. And I do want to say, there are 5 people out there, and I feel free to speak up. And Bonnie's not going to be here. And, you know, it's so odd. She is kind of my Martin to Lewis, or my Abbott. She's my Abbott to Costello. So it's going to be weird doing it without her, but I'm going to try hard. Luckily, I've got Melissa here. Just drinking water today. Do you like my new mug? I had to get some new ones. The old ones had started absorbing water inside, and I think it was making me ill. So I got the new ones now. I don't care what the weather is. I drink cold water. Oh, Melissa's doing such a good job. Yeah, you're a pretty good typist there. Yeah, our Bonnie can type like 95 words a minute. And I'm like, oh, really? So she is. You can tell, too. Do you mind if I have another bite of my sandwich? So, see, this is live. I mean, you don't get this on the fancy networks. So, this week, I've got a few things to show you. Now, Melissa, you have to try to pretend you didn't see what I'm getting ready to show you. Now, let me tilt this down a little. I think it was my Montana girl, wanted to know. Ooh, let me see. Hold on. That light might be too much. Washing them out. She wanted to know about the necklaces. Oh, yeah. Remind me, Melissa, and I will talk about that quilt. These are, I went through different things and found pictures of quilts and glued them onto the bezel and under the glass cabochon. And when I find the actual necklace strings, I will string them. But these are going to be a little present for the retreaters at the retreat. So this one isn't glued on a bezel yet, but it's really pretty. And there's a lady who loves pink at the retreat, so that's one of the choices for her. But this is an inexpensive way to make a gift And if you love, quilts, then you can have your own quilt necklace. Isn't that pretty? I love compasses. I guess that's what it is. But here are a few of them. And so I just order a bunch of the cabochons and bezels. And then this time I used, instead of just using white glue, I used something called diamond sealer. And I think it gives a clear image through the bezel. So these are going to be the little, one of the many prizes at the retreat. See, I love the sewing machine. I made a little iron too. I'm not sure if people will like that. But anyway, so I collect, they have to be the right size, and I just collect these. Oh, I've got this in mind for my aunt. She loves colonial, she's from Connecticut. So this is supposed to be a applique and handwork little colonial house and star. So anyway, here is another cute sewing machine. So these are just some of them, and I just thought I'd show you today. But I love doing stuff like that. It's so easy. And then I have some, I'll raise this back up. Oh, and Miss Melissa, somebody that you know has already put in their order for their classes for that quilt show we talked about. I got so excited that the ones I wanted to take, I really wanted to take, and I know that sometimes they can fill up fast. So I had to order some more bezels because I had run out of them. But I love eBay. I mean, I tell you what, I can find more junk to buy from eBay. But look at these cute charms I got. Little sewing machine charms. Do you see them? And then I got a pack of pink ones. So all the people that have helped me, I only got 2 packs, but people who've helped me prepare for the retreat, I'll make a little charm necklace or something for them. So anyway, it's nice to be able to order from whatever country I want, and get gifts that I can afford. So, really nice. So let's see. I think I saw Hex Rex. Let's see. Is it sinful to hold Cthulhu in high regard? I don't know what that is. But Michelle is here. Michelle, it's so good to see you. So let me get these things out of the way. Then I guess we'll talk about the quilt behind me. I was curious what Hex Rex is. What is Cthulhu? Cthulhu in high regard. What does that mean? We've been lucky so far. We've not been invaded by people up to no good. So I'm on the lookout. So the quilt. Let's talk about the quilt. Okay. And you might notice that Miss Kiwi is back, and she went in yesterday and had her wings clipped again and her beak and toenail groomed. So, and then this morning when I took my shower, I put her in the shower. I've got a suction cup perch that I put in the shower for her. Now, I see 9 people on. Feel free to holler in. Does anybody know what this quilt is called? What style quilting this is called? I'll give you a hint. It's named after a country, a town in, was it France or Italy? It's named after a town hall. Anybody know? So, Melissa, that's interesting. I don't know what that is. So, let's hope that was a... But, Michelle, I bet you know what this quilt is. What kind of quilt this is? Good for you, Melissa. I was thinking, oh my gosh, we got another genius in here. Bargello and Gillette. Excellent. It is a Bargello. And it was named after, I think, a chair in the town hall in Bargello. It might be Italy. But, and this is a quilt as you go. So it's really pretty simple. And you did know. Look at everybody's got the right answer. Good job. I made this years ago, and it was connecting threads fabric, and I just thought it looked like the Alps, you know, some big mountain peaks. But did you misspell it? Oh, we don't judge spelling here. We just like good answers. So what you do is it's really quite easy, Anne. You make strip sets, and you put these strips. So let's start. This one probably started with the light color here. Then it went darker and darker. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades of gray, and that's important to get the look, is to have lots of shades. Then it goes into purple, and there's like 5 purples and a black. And what you do is you make strip sets, then cut them, and then put them, and then place them one on top of another or beside each other, so that you have these long strips. And then what you do is you cut them in varying widths. And we had a chart, and the chart would say 1.5 inch, 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch. The smallest is about 3/4 of an inch. And by using them of different widths, you get it to go up fast or come down fast. Because if they were all the same width, instead of having peaks, you would kind of have a little more rounded mountain. So, but the main thing is you sew, when you make that long strip, you sew it into a tube. And then when you sew it into a tube, it is easy to, you then lay the tube even and flat, and you cut those into the widths. And by having a tube, so some of the tubes are quite narrow, but a big tube, you decide where you're going to start. So like right here, you know, you decide on here where to open up that tube. And let's say you opened it at this color and you lay it out. Then the next one, you bump up one of the strips on the tube, open it there. You know, using your seam ripper, you open that tube. So you've got these long, these are, you know, one piece, each of these. And you have your batting and your backing, and you lay it on, right sides down, you stitch, then you press it over. Do the same thing on and on as you work your way across the quilt. And by the time you put your last strip on at the end, all you have to do is bind it. It's done. So Bargellos are very easy. It's just a matter of having your colors picked out ahead of time, making strip sets, sewing the strip sets into tubes, and because you have to be able to have all these colors on one strip set. So when you cut them and you sew them to make a long strip set, and but you put all these colors on a strip set. I don't know which one is the actual starting strip set, probably here in the middle, and then work your way out as you lay right sides together, sew 1/4 inch, iron it over, lay the next one, sew 1/4 inch, flip it, iron it flat. So, but you have to have all these colors on the strip set, and by having them in a tube, you just rotate the tube. Otherwise, you would have to make a strip, each of these strip sets separately. That's too much work. So this is a Bargello, and I was very pleased with it. When I do my next one, I'm going to kind of do it with a little more startling color. But anyway, Bargellos, I don't know who the smart people are who invent this stuff, but I'm certainly grateful because that way I don't have to invent it. I can just have fun and play with it. You might notice, whoops, let me see. No, this way. I have started packing. The retreat is coming up in about 2 weeks. And so I'm getting ready nice and early because I'm going to go there and I'm going to enjoy every moment. This girl needs a retreat. So let me catch up with who. And we are Gillette. We are tickled to see you here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So we've got Melissa and Ann and Michelle and anybody else who feels like speaking up, please do. We're tickled to have you here. So let's see. Oh, Melissa, you're so cute. Melissa, you're a right fast typist yourself, hon. I don't know how many words a minute you do, but you're looking good. You're looking good. So, luckily this week's going to warm up a little bit. I think the weather is mean when it goes from upper 80s to low 50s. I don't think that's fair. But let me go down and see who else. Oh, you type for a living. Good girl. See, you and Bonnie, y'all can take care of this girl. Because, you know, I am a kind of a one-trick pony, so I can't do it all. But, all right, this week. Oh, I know what I want to show you next. I don't know if you remember last week, as if it's all important in your life, which I know it's not. But my son and his wife had a gender reveal party, and they revealed it's a boy, and so I'm excited about that. And so I thought, I've got to work on this quilt. So I have been looking and looking, and God bless Pinterest, I tell you, that site's wonderful. But I'm trying to find a quilt pattern. And if any of you know of one, please send it to me. Type it on here or send it to ourtimetoquilt@twc.com. Let me type that down. Our time to quilt at twc.com. Okay. So, but feel free, if you know a link, I would like to buy a pattern, have a free pattern, whatever. This is what I'm going to need, though, is I got my fabric in from Paducah of Kentucky, Hancock's of Paducah. I think I'll get it right. So, look, oh my God, I found the cutest packages, Timeless Treasures. And this is the main fabric, and oh my God, I just love the little animals. They're just so sweet. Look at this owl, look at the raccoon, look at the little porcupine. I tell you, sometimes there are days, especially after yesterday, there are days I'd like to just crawl in one of these, and that's where I live. And you can come see me in the forest because that's where I live. One of the cutest things I saw on here, let me see if I can find it. There is a little fox. There he is. And he's writing her name, Foxy, and she's got her tongue sticking out to try to help her concentrate. Is that the cutest thing? So this is the world I want my new little grandson to be born into, not the one we've been watching lately. So I got, wow, they're generous. I got a yard of this. So what I was thinking is fussy cut this. So I need oh, my Mark's going for a bike ride. Good for him. When I say bike, it motorcycle. But anyway, he's worked really hard around here. He put a new slide motor in our motorhome because that's what I take to the retreat. And the past 3 years, once a year, one of the slide motors dies on us. And they're not cheap. You know, I mean, well, the $360, but that's not cheap to me. I mean, you know, we're on a budget, but luckily he does the repair because I told him it probably would have been $1,000 each time taking it to a camper dealer because they somehow think you've got all this money and you don't want to do anything but spend it there. So, but luckily, and the one he got, the one that it called for was $570, and he talked to the technician and said, look, the ones I got for the other two slides, and they were the bigger slides, it was this one for 300 and something. And he said, well, you got to change something. You've got to change it around. So he got the new part in. He went ahead and took the chance. You know, you can't send back electronic auto parts. You buy it, it's yours. And off he goes. So he got the new part in, and he had to rework it and change this part of the old one with this part of the new one, and he got it put in, and it works like a charm. So that was wonderful. Saved a couple $100 that way plus labor. So this is the fabric, and as I was telling you, I was thinking of, like, see this cute little bear, fox, and raccoon family? I'd like to fussy cut those. And so I need a quilt that has center blocks so I can highlight all of those. And I shouldn't show you that yet. But here, this is the cutest fabric. It's a baby blue with clouds, but some of the clouds are in shape of bunnies. So, and when I ordered this, I didn't know yet whether it was a boy or girl, but something kind of felt like it was going to be a boy. And just in case, I ordered this fabric. These are little mushrooms in their little forest. And it's kind of reddish, kind of has a reddish pinkish look, which I don't know if I'll use now that I know for sure it's a boy. And then here's some cute little bunnies I got just in case it was a girl. And here is what they call packed, which is they take a certain drawing or pattern and it's put in very densely. So here are all the cute little animals densely put in. But what I was doing is trying to look at the fabric line, make sure that I had dark, medium, and light. So that's what that is. Now for a background, I might use something like this as a background because it's pretty light, or I'll use a cream color. Then, one of the reasons I love this fabric line too is it has a border print. And ladies, let me tell you, whoops, it's upside down for you. But border prints make easy work of quilt making. I mean, how cute is that? And I'll just run the border around the edge. And I wanted to show you something that they've been doing lately, which just tickles me to no end. You know, I'm a child at heart, soul, and very much in touch with my inner child. But you know how they used to put the circles of the dye colors that they used, the dye colors from that run? Well, now they have started. These are little bunnies. They started on some fabrics using something from the design to do their little selvages. So I've decided that these cute little selvages are going to border the, boy, get my brain going, girl. these selvages are going to border the, what do you put on the back of it? The little label. These selvages are going to border the label on the back because, I mean, that's too cute to toss. So I got 2 yards of this, not knowing exactly how I was going to use it because I ordered this without a pattern, without knowing whether it was a boy or girl. I just knew I saw it. And you know what I've learned? If you see something you really love, get it now. Because I've noticed with fabric companies that sometimes they only print a certain amount and they won't reprint it. A lot of times they won't reprint it. So if you see it, get it. And because I don't think I've ever regretted buying something, but I've definitely regretted not buying something. And, you know, so then they have what's these little like dimply kind of fabrics. But they'll read, most of them will read as solids. So this is what I got. I got a pale blue. I got this misty gray. My son loves silver. It's one of his favorite colors. So I got the silver. I got what's called earth and celery. I love this color. And it looks lime possibly to you, but it's a pale celery. It's really nice. So it's kind of nice to have, you know, these colors. Well, let me hold on just a second here. But, okay. So, as you can see, I think they work really well with it. And they're part of the, trust me, I wasn't this brilliant. These were all part of the line. Now, when I was getting ready to get off, and this is one thing I was very thankful to Hancock's of Paducah for, because when I had clicked order this, confirm the order, and so when they sent me online, it pops up, okay, you've paid. Would you like to continue shopping? I should have said no and walked out, but then I would have missed this. Look at this cute fabric. This is from the Lion King line of fabric. Hold on, let me find a selvage here if I can find one. The Hakuna Matata. This is by Dear Stella Designs, and I think it's Hakuna Matata. And it's just as cute as it can be. And I saw this, and it was marked down to $4.99 a yard. And what I love about it is it's got the pale celery and the pale green and pale yellow, just very pale. I said, that would be perfect backing. So I ended up contacting them and saying, can I add one more thing to that order? And luckily I could. She canceled it out and did it again. And I got 4 yards of that. So I'm very happy with that. Pardon me, I'm knocking things on the floor. So last night I was up till 2:30. I thought it was a good thing to design the quilt for the baby. And I'm not sure this is going to be the final design. Let me show you the block. But I've been really struggling with what pattern. I know I want it to have blocks, open blocks, so that I can fussy cut the little baby animals. And I know I need it to have plenty of other things going on for all the fabrics, you know, because I've got like 6 other fabrics to use. But this is the pattern I saw somewhere and liked. So I went into my EQ8 and worked on that. But I have looked and looked and looked. Mark is worried that it's going to be too busy. And this makes it look busy because, of course, I couldn't find the colors and fabric that I'm using. But he's a little worried that all of those 9 patches are going to be too busy. So I need to check. I need to look again. Every time he says stuff like this, I pay attention to him because you know what? He's really good at helping me. So what I've decided to do, and this is good advice. Here comes a tip, guys. Pay attention. Here's a good tip. And this was given to me by a woman in the late 1980s when I first learned to quilt. She said, because I didn't do this. And when I actually started making the blocks, I hated it. And that was a waste of a lot of fabric. And nowadays, and that's back when fabric was $2 and $3 a yard. And now, my God, some of it, you know, it's anywhere from 10 to 14 a yard. So she told me, Deb, always make up one block first. Cut just enough to make one block and see if you like the block. And, you know, she didn't have quilt classes and quilt training. That was just good common sense from a woman. She was in her 80s, I think, and just a woman who's lived life and learned something along the way. And I miss her. But anyway, she was right. And I've always tried to remember that. So when Mark brought up the worry that this might be too busy, the first thing I'm going to do, make up one block. And if I don't like it, then I haven't lost that much, and I can go find another pattern or try to design another pattern. So if any of you have patterns that you know of, you let me know. Oh, my Katie girl is here. Hi, Katie. I'm glad to see you, hon. And did you see the fabrics? Did you see the... Oh, my gosh, Chris is here. I got to show you, boy. Got to show you, boy. This is for Gus Gus. So my son is on here, and he is the one that they're expecting the baby. And I got to tell you this, too. They're right in line with Harry and Meghan. So I didn't realize they were such friends, but they're both the same distance along, and they both got married in May, and so I think they were married in May. And so, hi. Well, Christopher, this had gotten in case it was a girl. I haven't decided if I was going to make it. And Melissa's a really sweet friend, and Michelle are my friends. Chris, look at these cute little animals. I just fell in love with this. And I sent you today, Mark and I ordered you a little surprise present. And it's for you, Chris. And so hopefully it'll be in sometime this week. Aw, isn't that wonderful? Everybody's so happy for you. But let me show you this fabric. I was just asking them for pattern help because this is the fabric for your little Gus Gus's baby blanket. And I'm so excited. And it was funny, I was just talking about you because luckily I happened to buy a lot of blues. I just had this feeling. But here are the coordinating fabrics to go with it. And I was telling them you love silver. So I got a silver fabric. And I think that they'll all go really well together. So I'm taking it to my retreat. Chris, I have to be honest and tell everybody I haven't finished your wedding quilt. And I mean, it's only been a year and a half. So I haven't finished Katie's either. She's, how many years, Katie? Is that 8? So this is going to be, I keep saying this, but I really am determined to get this done. So, and I was telling them I did this up as a pattern, but of course it'll look different because the colors and everything will be different. So now it'll be 10 in May. Oh my gosh. Okay, ladies, hold me to this. I must finish these wedding quilts. Hold me to it, people. Becky said, because hers is like this close to being finished, and she said, she now says that's what keeps her marriage going is I haven't finished the wedding quilt yet. So 10 years in May. Katie, wow. Yeah, it'll last longer, huh? So ladies, you are welcome and invited to hold me to my promise of getting these done within the next calendar year. I must. But Mark went out for his ride. And I told him I'm going to end this. I'm going to try to end this one on time. Well, maybe 4:30, you know. And we've been going to almost 5:30. And we start at 3. So, but I want to drive up to Pilot Mountain because I know that the leaves aren't that pretty. They're kind of, this year we didn't have a cool snap in time. You have a quote going at 18. Oh, Melissa, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. But, and Katie and Chris, I'll show you a little. I made this, I guess, 2 weeks ago, just a cute little thing. I try to do things like that around here. And, oh, good job, Melissa. And Melissa, we'll talk to you too. I'm sorry that Michelle's mom has been sick. So, all right, see how cool he is? He's got a jet. Me, I just amble on. But no, he's got a jet. He's so cool. So bye, Chris. Thanks for stopping in. Mwah. Talk to you tomorrow, hon. So he's a great kid. I should keep calling him a kid. He's 32 years old. I mean, come on, Deb, you're old, okay? In fact, Becky my oldest, turns 40 on Monday. So, yeah, Chris is the cool. He is the cool sibling. Mwah. He is the coolest, and he doesn't even try. He just is, So, anyway, he performs. He's a drummer. And he performs and he gives lessons. He teaches lessons. And I love when he posts these lessons, these kids. He makes them feel so special. And I just love that. So I love watching his videos that he posts. So, but he's a talented guy, all right, let me tell you. And his wife, oh my God, she can sing oh my God. She sings, she plays classical violin, she plays fiddle, which, she can just do anything. But, and Katie's our funny one, boy. She's the keeper of the traditions and the irreverent child. Oh my God, I love it. I mean, I love it. So when she was born, she screamed so loud in the delivery room. I had 15 medical students in there. Everybody just cracked up. Because this child was born and she was mad. I mean, all of a sudden she's cold and the lights are bright and everything was just fine. Why did we have to go messing with stuff? I can see, you know what? She hates change. And if I could have, she'd probably want me to have stayed pregnant till now. And I don't think that, that's not good. But, I said, oh my God, that's a Katie, because she was just mad. So she's so cute. And she's the one that does the livestock. And I showed y'all the felted artwork of the hollyhocks and the hummingbird. This is my Katie. All of my kids are artistic and talented in different forms. So very, very talented kids. Well, that was a lot of fun. I probably should move on to this next thing, but thank you. I'm so lucky to have my kids come here, and I know, we hate being bored. Being bored to us is like torture, Although my lectures were worse than being bored, weren't they, Katie? I was one of those. I never spanked my kids. Well, Katie will tell you twice, okay? She went to go out in traffic or something. I don't know. But I didn't believe in spanking. So I lectured them. And there were times, Mom, please just spank us. We can't take the lecture. So see you, Katie. Love you. Mwah! I love you much. Say hi to Kylie and Devin. I don't know if they're around. But thanks, honey. Have a great day. It's so pretty here. So we were working. The last thing I talked to you about was the Moravian Star. Girls, I need help. Do you see? Whoops, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. You see this beautiful photo of this ornament called the Moravian Star. Well, that's good. That's all well and good. And this week, I've had such fun. Oh, thank you, honey. We'll have a good time at Pilot Mountain. I love that place. It's just kind of neat. And it was in Mayberry. They called it Mount Pilot. In fact, Mark, when he took his bike trip to the ocean a couple weeks ago, he sent me a text saying, I'm in Siler City. And I went, That was in Mayberry too. Andy Griffith Show. That was there. So anyway, I gave you the site to get this free. And what I did, this is my master copy, but I printed it on cardstock. And then I took scissors by hand, because I don't know if you can tell, but the lines, pardon me for having hiccups, the lines don't quite line up. They're just offset just enough that I had to cut them out by hand. So that was a job, but it was enjoyable at night in front of the TV. So I'm going to show you all the different steps. All right. So once I cut out the cardstock, then it made a bunch of these, and they're, cardstock, and they're 60-degree 1-inch diamonds. That's what it calls for. And I made hundreds of them. And I keep them in a baggie because the bird went to fly the other day and they went whoosh up into the air and all over the floor. I don't like picking stuff up. So then once I had the cardboard, and I don't know if you can see, I'm sorry to bounce around, but I want to show you, I'm so proud. My bird is getting her tail feathers back in like crazy. And I was so embarrassed to take her to the bird shop where I got her yesterday and have to tell them, see her new tail feathers coming in? Kiwi, good girl. So there's her new tail feathers. She's being a good girl. She is so much fun. Let me back out, guys. Ooh, yeah, you don't want to be too close to me there. So, tail feathers coming back in. Check. That's a good thing. Okay, let me bring this back down. All right. So, then I took the fabrics I wanted to use from it. And this was a pretty blue. It has some little sparkly, that's a sparkly silver. I don't know if you can see it really good. But it's a batik, but I love blue. Can you tell? It's my signature color. So what I did is I started covering the pieces of cardboard with little pieces of blue fabric. In fact, I'm going to show you how I do this, okay? Okay, I'll bring this down. And I have a cup of glue. I have fabric. I have snips. I have paintbrush. And this is just white school glue, okay? And let me show you so you'll know what I'm working on. I'm trying to do this. Trying to cover the piece of paper with the blue fabric. So I put it on here like this. Trying to put it close to this edge. Here, I'll put it close to this one because I like to use that silver. Oh, that sun's coming in bad. Hold on, guys. Hold on, please. Okay, let me see if that works better. The sun, when it does come in. Whew, okay, so here, I put this here, and then I cut out the shape, leaving a 1/4 inch around the paper. And where the points are, you might notice I dull the point, okay? I just cut across. So I dull that point like this. So right now it's just sitting there. It showed me where to cut it. All right, let me bring it in closer. Okay, well, that's not going to work. Okay, all right. So now this is the pretty side. It has the little glittery snowflake on it. So I put it on the wrong side and hold it like this. All right. Then I take my little brush, I dip it in the glue, and I rub it around the fabric and the paper around the edge, okay? Now, I might want to rethink that method and just put it on the paper. I'll tell you why. And see how easy you just go around, you use the glue at full strength, or sometimes I let it sit out a little bit, it's thicker, and then look how easy the fabric folds. You just give it a good push. Now, then I come back with the nippers and nip off the excess. Okay, because you don't want big, hunks of fold. So see what I just did? And I'll show you the right side, okay? And, oops, I didn't fold. I noticed that side looked skewed and I hadn't folded this fabric over enough. So now let me see. Yeah, now it's not skewed. And this tip, I try to put a little dot of glue and get that tip tucked down. So now hold it just a second and there. When you know it acts up on camera. And you got to be careful because if the cardstock gets wet, it might want to skew that tip. All right, there's a perfect tip. Good enough, good enough. Okay. So there. And you need, are you ready for this, ladies? Hi, Diane 57. You need 60 of these puppies to make one ornament. 60, yes, 60. So now I've shown you how to make it. I'll move this out. And let me tell you, whoops, wrong way. All right. Hello. All right. This is my problem. Now, some people probably use glue sticks, and that would be a good thing because using this liquid glue, like I did, and putting so much on to make sure it's really stayed put. When I went to sew it by hand, it was so tough to get the needle through because now it's a hard glued edge problem. So that's why I'm thinking I've got these in glue. Watch this. I don't do things by small dribs and drabs, do I? I jump in. Then I've got this fabric, fussy cut. Okay? Then I've got candy cane. Not just one. I've got 2 candy cane. I have this candy cane and I have this candy cane. And I have all these of each of these colors. Oh, I'm not even done yet. Ready? Okay. Yep, it's a Bargello. Good job, Diane 57. Excellent. All right. Then I have this fabric in red and gold. And I have green and gold. Okay. So plenty of these. Oh, and I'm not done yet. Okay, I didn't even make one of these first. I just jumped in. So then I have a beautiful, sophisticated, how about that? This is sophisticated for Deb. I have that stripe. Got that bag. Then I've got poinsettias. Okay, here is, well, I'll get to that in a moment. Let me show you. I've got 2 different fabrics in here. I have these made with the poinsettias and these made with garland, okay? And if you've noticed, I've tried to use that linear design to good effect. And I was going to show you how I would just cut out strips of fabric and then go along and cut them out individually to wrap the diamonds around, okay? I'm going to get that out of the way. And the last fabric If that's enough, isn't it? So, look at this pretty fabric. It is a red background with a gold filigree on it. Okay, so I have all of these. And these still left to make more. So last night, knowing I was going to be here today, I wanted to make an ornament to show you. And I thought sewing this is going to be a pain. And it was. I did this one and I did the little, let me see if I can find a place where you can see slip stitches. I think on this one you can see a few of my slip stitches. But I would fold them like this, right sides together, and I would try to whip stitch over the edge. Well, because it's glued, it's hard as a rock. So it causes a whole lot of hand strain. So then I said, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to use hot glue. Besides being burnt numerous times, the glue took time to dry or cool, and I had seams open up. Let me give it a shot. This time I thought I would get the low temp gun, and this is the low temp gun, and maybe then it won't be as hard. But get another glue stick ready. And let me see. I was working already in this fabric. So the problem is, yeah, what you have to end up doing. Okay, let me get back. I get ahead of myself. All right. So I'll show you on this, and these are what you want to make, which are beautiful. They're lovely. And you make up all of these little diamonds covered in fabric, okay? And then what you do is you start making this 5-piece star. And if you notice that one star is missing a hunk out of it, but what happens is when you pull it together, it gives you this nice little bowl shape. See how that looks like a bowl shape? And so this takes 5 of the pieces. You make 12 of these bowls. 12 of these bowls of 5 pieces. Okay? That's where you get the 60 diamonds that you need. So, I thought, let's try super glue. That'll be faster and easier. The only problem is I used 60 blue things that I so carefully cut out and made. And somehow I didn't assemble it right. So it came out, instead of a nice star, it came out like this. And I meant to bring it down. I threw it in the trash can because trying to pull it apart, oh, it just wrecked them. So I said, I'm not going to get mad. I just started cutting them out, making some more. But the problem I had is with using the hot glue gun. You know, this is the one that's hotter. It took a while for the glue to cool off on the fabric, and if I was, didn't want to sit and hold it that long, then it would kind of come apart and separate, and if you didn't get the glue just right. So if you don't mind, no, you only use 5 diamonds, because what this is, let me show you, Diane. You're making what's called a Moravian star. And let me see if you can see this. Good. See how it's a 3-dimensional ornament? It's a 3-dimensional ornament. And here we have the original Moravian colonies. So especially for Winston-Salem. And see how she made 12 of the little bowl-shaped stars. Okay? Then she took and hand sewed all of those 12 bowls together. And see how this might be a better way for you to see the 3-dimension of it. And her stitches are amazing. I mean, they're tiny little stitches. And here is another picture of that dimensional star. So, to me, it looks simple, but most things do. And then I get in over my head. So, let me see today. I'm more awake today. Let's see if I can. Hold on just a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can do a better job of this. I'm taking 2 of the diamonds, putting right sides together. Now I'm going to use the low temp gun. Let me use this low temp gun. And you take and run the glue down, because just beside, when you stop and think about it, just having to sew the 60 seams together is a lot. Actually, it's more than 60 you'd have to sew. So what I'm trying to do is see if this will hold together. This is the part that gets, I'm thinking I could sew this faster. Well, that was until I actually tried and found that the fabric was so glued together and hard. Now, the thing I found is you got to make sure they're nice and tight together. Because otherwise, when you go to open them up, there'll be spaces or a gap. So, that looks pretty good. Now, what I found is, though, the more I worked with them, the more bent or the glue went different places it shouldn't have gone. But I'm going to give this one more shot, and y'all tell me what you think. I think if I had used a glue stick instead of the liquid glue, so that it was the only place the glue touched was the back of the paper, maybe it wouldn't have made the edges so hard to sew. But honestly, thinking of sewing all those edges, that's crazy. That would take a while. Now, one year, this was a while ago when I was younger, in my 40s, I took and made 20-something paper piece Christmas cards, hand sewn, from a wreath. And it ended up having like 12 pieces, 15 pieces. And I made 20-some, and everybody on my Christmas card list got a handmade Christmas card. But once in a lifetime, that was enough. I was substitute teaching, and I would take it for any times I had breaks and sit and sew on it. But this is one of the problems I get. I put the glue on there, but you can see through that seam right in there. And yeah, they just, I don't know. It might work. Maybe I just need to learn how to use hot glue more carefully. Okay, so now I'm going to take, and you have to kind of open it up, and then you put another one, because I was thinking, what other kind of glue could I use? But you know how long it would take tacky glue to dry enough to handle it? So now I've got another seam, and I try to hold it tight without getting myself burnt. The good thing about using the low temp gun, I don't know if it's going to hold it. No, look at this. It already came loose. Look at that. So, I'm not a happy girl. So I got to figure out, what am I going to do now? I've got all these wonderful pieces. Pooh. So the low temp doesn't work because it just doesn't have the holding strength. What do y'all think? Yeah, I wondered if I could sew it by machine. I guess I could use one of... Okay, hi. I guess I could use a blind hem stitch. What do you think? The thing is, you have to sew it right on the edge to be able to get, yeah, this glue's not even working. In fact, look at this. Okay, so low temp glue does not work. And you know, this is really a neat idea. Luckily, I was able, though, the good news, I was able to pull it off without messing them up. All right, so next thing then, let me give it a shot. Let me try to see if I can stitch it on the machine. Yeah, let me. All right, we got that there. Okay, let's see. And I did put a heavy needle in here last time, so let's see. Small zigzag. Yes, I might. Oh, I hope I have a 16. I either have a 14 or. Let's see what I've got. Oh, one thing I have to do. Have any of y'all ever been sewing with your 1/4-inch foot and you go to do a zigzag and break your needle? Because I tend to forget. I need a foot with a nice hole in it, a slot, so the needle can go back and forth. Okay. Let's see what happens, ladies. All right, let's see what we can do. Tiny little thing. Okay, let's see now how this comes out. Okay. Some of the stitches show in there, but I don't know if that would really matter. You might have just saved the day with me, Diane57. Thank you, dear lady from Texas. Okay, now let me see if it gets hard as I go around the corner here. Hold on. Okay, let me see how this is going to work. Okay. I'm going to make sure I'm going to shorten that stitch length way down and elongate the thing so I won't have but so many times. Okay, let's see how this does. Okay, I might have elongated the stitch length a bit too much. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Diane, I think it's going to work. Diane, I think you saved my life. Not a bit hyperbolic here, am I? Okay, let me try it one more time, and then let me see if I can do the last one. And we might have hit upon something. Now, since I'm using this needle and sewing through paper, I won't use this needle again for anything else. Once I finish with this, then that needle will be thrown away because paper is going to be dulling this quite a bit. All right, let's see. Come on. All right. It looks pretty good so far. I can see some of the stitches when I pull it out, but you know what? That doesn't matter. This star is going to have so much for people to look at. They're not going to look in the very center. Oh, I think I might be able to get this together. And now, if you want to try this, you'll know how to do it, how to finish it. I never thought about sewing this on the machine. I thought that I wouldn't be able to do a short enough stitch that I'd be able to turn it. So here's the 5 stars. And just like on the pattern, it shows this gap here. Well, what you do is you still put these right sides together and you stitch this closed. And it makes like a little cup. All right, let me try this. All right. Oh my goodness, that's great. So here's the one that I did by hand. It took a half an hour. Here's the one I did by machine that, took 5 minutes? Huh. This is great. So now what I'm going to do is sew this part together. All right, let me see if this is gonna, this might get tricky right here. Let me see. This part's going to get tricky, but maybe if I can put, if I can put all the little cups together on the machine, then just by hand whip stitch these, because actually, if I'm not trying to hide the stitches as much, I think that's what I'm going to do. See how you put these together? And so you can see where you'll start to get a dimensional shape. And then you just put a ribbon on it at the end and hang them up. Ha! Super. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was wonderful. All right, let me get a bite of banana and I'll be right back. I usually eat my first meal of the day around this time. So, okay, that was a success. Here's the hand done, which in a way, look how flimsy it is. Even though it looks nicer in a way, this one is a lot sturdier. So, all right. Well, next week, I will come back and show you where I've gotten. And this is why I love this channel, because I learn as much or more from you guys as you could ever learn from me. So thank you very much. So that part's done. And what else was pardon me while I check, see what else I was going to talk to you about. I showed you the baby fabric. We talked about the Moravian Star. I told you that I've started, packing for my retreat. And, oh, I know what. I'm going to make a bird bed. And let me get out something I'm going to show you that's going to help me. I wish I had some of that. Have you seen that new thing? It's kind of like a foam that you can sew in bags and stuff to make them a little more sturdy. Well, the old-fashioned thing that we used to do back in the day, when I used to work at the costume shop, is, now I've forgotten what this is called, but it is a very thick, stiff interfacing. And so I thought, a couple layers of this, and I'm going to make her a triangle-shaped bird hut. And I think she will like it. So I'm going to get flannel, and let me see. I'm trying to decide. You only need three rectangles of fabric. You stitch them together, but this will be put inside. Oh, it does have, this has fusible on it too. So that will help. I want it stiff because I saw some at the bird shop yesterday when I was there. Besides the fact that it was like $10, $12 for a little piece of flannel, it wasn't stiff enough to hold its shape. And so I wanted to have a stiffer one. You've used this too. What is this called? There was a name for it, but I used to put this in bodices and stuff to give them a little shape. It's not the boning, but there is a name for it now. I've forgotten, but it's great stuff. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to find, but you can use it in costumes like witches' hats and stuff to make them hold their shape better. And so that's one thing that I'll be working on. But what time is it? 4:12. Nice. In fact, Mark said, I think he said he was going to ride his motorcycle up and check to see how Pilot Mountain is. So, anyway, so let me see what y'all are doing. Boy, let me see. Michelle, open it up and use the same. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So if I can't put the pieces together, I can open them up and just stitch something. I might have to try that too. I love metallics. Anything with bling, anything with bling. So, well, tell me what you're working on. What is going on with you? I came down this morning and my jade plant, I lost the stem of my jade plant. I'm looking now and it looks like it kind of broke off. But I need to put this in the pot. Luckily, it'll root itself. But soft and stable. Yeah, this one is like, almost feels like cardstock. It's pretty heavy. There wasn't, the name tickles. It's like, it's teasing me. I can feel the name kind of go by. Oh, I think I scared my birdie. Kiwi. I think I scared the bird off the thing. I forget. And I toss. You notice I'm a tosser. I throw stuff over that way. So anyway. Oh, there she is. There's my good girl. You want that up? It's so nice. Now look at these tail feathers. Aren't they beautiful? Oh my gosh, I'm so tickled. And they'll end up getting about this long. So. Oh, I know you had your fingernails cut yesterday and it's harder to climb up my shirt. But, hi. Hi, come on up. Want to get up there? Good girl. Oh, it's hard to hang on. So, anyway, but tell me what y'all are doing today. I'm run out of things. Let me think of what else I was doing with the retreat. I've got just about all the money in. Oh, and I sent you an email, Melissa. We'll talk about the retreat, so don't worry about that. You're attempting a Bargello. Okay, let me see if she's still here. Hold on a second. We had a lady who wants to do a Bargello. It's on her bucket list, and her name was Anne. And so, are you doing the Bargello, Diane? Are you doing the strip method, the tube method? I'll do a tutorial one day on it. But there's my Bargello. Yes, you're doing the tube method. Oh, that's wonderful. Melissa, I bring about 8 projects to the retreat. But I always worry, what if I forget an important part of it? Then I worry I might get bored with it. Some days I'm just not in the mood to do certain quilts. So I bring about 8 things. But okay, so you're using the tube method, and then are quilting as you go with sewing the strips on the batting and backing? Because that's how I did mine. Tiffany's Quilting Life. Okay, if Anne is still here, Tiffany's Quilting Life is doing a tutorial. Yay, I love that. And, it takes time for people to make tutorials, take the photos, edit them, and all that. And how lovely to do that. So Tiffany's Quilting Life. Okay, guys? The retreat, you are welcome to come if you'd like to. The retreat's going to be held in Denton, North Carolina. It's a little south of Lexington, where the big barbecue capital of North Carolina is. And you took about that many when you went to retreat also, and it was great. Oh, good. Yeah, because you just don't know. I think I told y'all the story of my daughter went on a 3-day retreat with me years ago. And she's a knitter. I still love her. And she took like 1 or 2 projects, only what she thought she could really get done, and she had forgotten something at home. And so then she had nothing to work on. So it's good to take extra. And the first thing you should pack is your machine. And you make sure you have the feet. You make sure you have the sewing table. You make sure you have the cord, the foot pedal, everything you need for that machine. There's nothing worse than getting to a retreat and you forgot your foot pedal at home. Because then you're not going to get much done. And so, you know, really be careful. You never thought of a quilt as you go for Bargello. Yeah, because I was telling them that I would end up with these strips, you know, to have them on the tube, and then you release the seam allowance so that you can get the stagger and stuff. And as you sew them, you put them right sides together, you stitch, and you got your batting, your backing, your batting, and then as you sew the strips on, it's also quilting it. So by the time you're done putting all your strips together, all you have to do is bind it and you're ready. So that's the way I learned it, and just that much easier. But it's up to you. If you want a kind of free-flowing quilting thing, then just go ahead and put it together and handle it like a normal quilt. But it really works really good for Quilt As You Go, because you gotta sew it. You gotta sew them together. You never thought of a Quilt As You Go, yeah. But I like to pack early. I also, to go to a retreat, I write list after list after list. And I have this notebook, you see? And see, I've got lists all down here for all the things I have to do and the plans I have to do, what I have to make. And then I write down here what projects I want to take with me. And I'm going to get ready and type it up because it's so much easier to read the typing. But I've got things, I try to keep myself very organized because I really do need to, you know, since I'm in charge of it, I've got to have my act together. But, so in fact, if anyone would like, if you write to me, you went to the Missouri Star. Okay, Anne, tell us about Jenny Doan. Tell us about Missouri Star Quilt Company. And did you get a chance to run up to Angela Walters' shop? Oh my gosh, several of us have talked about. We're going to take a road trip one day. We're going to the Missouri Star town. In fact, Michelle, you'll come with us, I hope. But are you talking about these stars? Oh, you know what? I don't know if I showed you, Diane. See how you glue the fabric to these paper diamonds? So they're all done to the back. They're glued down. And that was my problem with sewing, is the glue made the edges really hard, because I put on last Sunday's live stream, I put the website for this tutorial, and then I put a website I found that had free templates. So I printed this out on cardstock, cut them out, and then cut out fabric and glued around it. So now you have a pretty tough little piece here, and then you take all these and put them together. But that's turned out to be more difficult than I thought. But maybe if I had, I just kept the glue on the cardboard and maybe used a glue stick rather than, Jenny was there. Oh, good. Oh, and what I love is the quilt shops are kind of designated by what kind of fabric you find in them. Oh, wow. Good idea. You're right. Because you know what? Are you talking about these? I have sewn through these I don't know how many times. So, and I know that my quilt machine, I use a based tack gun, that has those basting tacks, and I sew through that all the time. Doesn't even slow me down. So Ann is saying Jenny was there, talked for about an hour, 14 quilt shops. So Michelle, oh, Mark came home. I guess we are going to. I can only talk about 7 more minutes, and then my sweetie and I are going to run up to Pilot Mountain and look at whatever little bit of color we might have. But I love fall. I love it. If I could be in Williamsburg right now, I would be the happiest camper. So, so now how did you stay at the retreat site? Because what worried me is that room, that big room with all the beds. I didn't know how I'd do there. So, but I would love to see Jenny Doan. I mean, that family is amazing. Single-handedly, just about, saved the town and created a wonderful business. In fact, Michelle, do you know who the first person was that turned me on to Missouri Star Quilt Company? It was my Michelle. She knew about them when I hadn't a clue anything about them. And she said, oh, you've got to check. You've got to check. I love the stuff I buy there. They're so nice. And Jenny's so nice. And sure enough, Michelle was right. Listen to Michelle. She knows what she's talking about. So, and at one point, we are going to try a Google Hangout and see if we can get it so we can all hear each other. It might work. Well, I'll send out a little notice before we do it. And mark your calendars, Saturday, November 17th, we're going to do a live stream from the retreat. So if you've never been to a retreat and you'd like to see what one is like, or if you just like to join us and hang out, we'll do the retreat. I think we're going to do it starting around 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon on Saturday, November 17th. So that sounds wonderful. So are there any tips for today? You probably know this plenty of times, but I keep all my scraps of fabric, especially thick ones like this. These are very thick. I keep them behind my machine for leaders and enders. And Miss Bonnie made this famous, Bonnie Hunter. And you can start sewing here, and I usually start about 1 inch from the edge. And that way, when you run your little triangles or things through, it doesn't push your edge of your fabric down in the machine like it will if you don't have something you've sewn on before. It wouldn't be like a pajama party once I get snoring. So that's what worries me. It's like, I don't know about staying. Okay, you stayed there. Okay, several bedrooms. Most have 3 to 5 twin beds. Good. I thought it was like this huge whole floor. So I'm glad to know they're broken up. Good food. That's good to know. And you sewed your PJs. Oh, I love it. We're going to do that for the first time at this retreat. Make sure, Melissa, you have your pajamas that you're going to bring for the retreat. We're going to try that this year. So I made sure I went and bought a brand new nightgown so that I didn't have any holes in anything or the waistband hadn't given out, and don't want to cause a scene. So that is wonderful. Okay, guys. We've got 4 minutes left. And you're covered in the PJ area. Good job. Because I have this flannel robe, but it keeps coming unsnapped, which is no big deal at home. But there, oh, you ladies you don't want to mess with that. And some pajamas at the top that the buttonholes are too big, and I don't know. I guess I could fix them, but it's easier just to buy something new. You did one of Bonnie's mysteries. Aren't her mysteries amazing? In fact, I just heard, guys, I was checking out her live stream a few days ago. She is planning on, Bonnie Hunter, right, who lives right here in Winston-Salem near me, not, well, half an hour, 40 minutes away. But she is planning on a brand new fall mystery. There you go. You got to look good too. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Yeah, y'all remember Pilot Mountain, don't you, Michelle? Aw. Hi, Kim Smith. How are you, hon? If any of you live near North Carolina, you're welcome to join us on our retreat. I've got a whole long page. What we do is you decide it's your retreat. It's your time. But we have activities we offer just in case you want to. And we've got some good ones. So I pretty much got them all planned out, thank goodness. And now it's like, get everything packed. And since Mark put the new motor and the bedroom slide for the camper, I'm going to be ready to go. Melissa, you can cause a scene all by yourself. Oh, honey, you're so much fun. I think we'll have a grand time. Well, guys, I have 2 minutes left. Any questions I can answer? But Diane 57 is working on a Bargello, so any help y'all can give to each other. Also, just so you know, we have a very vibrant Yahoo group. And Busy Pat, who's not here today, and Bonnie, who's not here today, boy, can they find the best free patterns in the world. So I'm going to type in our email site, and if you send me an email, I will invite you to our Yahoo group. It's a closed group, it's invitation only, because I just want to make sure that we all feel comfortable and safe there, and no big deal. So if you send me an email to Our Time to Quilt, well, I think I put 2 L's in it, at twc.com. And I wanted to say thank you to Time Warner Cable for giving me excellent internet service. And now you can see more clearly, and doesn't take as long to download, although I haven't downloaded a video in a while. I got to get back to it. So don't forget, yes, I ordered a brand new pair of slippers too. I said, I'm not taking those stinky old nasty things that are half worn out. So, well, Anne, thank you so much for sharing your Missouri Star retreat. And I hope some of you ladies like Anne and who was the one I was just talking, Kimberly, we would love for you to come back again, please. And we're here every Sunday at 3 p.m. except for Saturday, November 17th. We are going to be live from the retreat. So I'll take you around and show, whoever would doesn't mind being on camera, because I want to respect people's privacy. But whoever doesn't mind being on camera will go around, show you what they're working on, and who knows, there might be something fun going on during that time. So that will be Saturday, September 17th. And I'll put the information on the site again. I'll pre-plan it. Well, I'm headed out the door. Pardon me. I get the hiccups when I get on here. I'm headed out the door with my boyfriend, and we're going to go see some leaves. So take good care of yourself. As I always say, do something very special. Do something very special for yourself. Feed your soul, because you can't be good to others unless you've taken care of yourself. We know how to take care of other people really well. It's ourselves sometimes we need help with. So feed your soul, do something wonderful, and I'm going to have more information for you coming up soon. Thank you, Diane57, for helping me figure out the dilemma of the Moravian Star. And thank you to Melissa. I will have to tell Bonnie that you did a very good job of being my wingman today. Michelle, it was so nice to see you. Kim, please come back. We loved seeing you. And tickled to see your name. I hope you'll come back too, because, I'm sure you could tell us more about the Missouri Star. So thank you for everything you add to this group and for spending time. I tell you what, the more and more things go on in the real world, the more I look forward to these Sundays. You are my heart, and I can't wait to sew with you again. So have a good week, everyone. Bye-bye. See ya.